Oil marketing companies start increasing fuel prices at the pumps as petrol is now selling for 15 cedis 10 pesos a litre. Diesel going for 15 cedis 25 pesos a litre at some stations. Also coming up, IMF staff complete visit to Ghana to review half-year economic data, but raise concerns about payments to independent power producers. And President Akufo-Addo launches 8 billion cedi SME Growth and Opportunity Program targeted at supporting small businesses in the country. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us. First up, some oil marketing companies have started increasing prices of petroleum products at the pumps. A look at the new prices shows that petrol increased by 2%, whilst diesel increased by 2.2%. Here's more in this report.
Has taken the lead, selling a litre of petrol at 15 cedis 10 pesos and diesel for 15 cedis and 25 pesos. Previously, Shell was selling a litre of petrol at 14 cedis 80 pesos and diesel was going for 14 cedis and 92 pesos. Another major OMC, Star Oil, has increased the price of a litre of petrol to 13 cedis 93 pesos and reduced the price of diesel to 14 cedis 70 pesos. Before the adjustment in prices, Star Oil was selling a litre of petrol for 13 cedis 88 pesos and diesel at 14 cedis 79 pesos. Some of the OMCs told Joy Business that the increase in prices is due to the rising prices of crude oil on the international market and a depreciating cedi. The outlook for the price of petroleum products does not look favorable as the cedi is yet to show signs of stabilizing against the dollar in the coming weeks.
And you know that when fuel prices go up, they affect prices of food items. I want to take you to the Techiman Central Market, where some traders and consumers of beans are lamenting the recent hike in the price of the commodity. The traders, most of whom import the commodity from neighboring countries, are attributing the hike in prices to the unstable exchange rates. They are appealing to government to intervene to help keep them in business. And that's Sabed has more.
The recent economic hardships across the country has taken a toll on almost every facet of the Ghanaian economy. Well, today, we're here at the famous Techiman Central Market to have a look at the prices of some essential commodities. You might be wondering why your favorite gobe joint that has been a lifesaver over the past years is a no-go area in recent times. Today, we are here at the Techiman, beans market, where we want to speak with the traders to find out how much they are selling beans per bag today compared to the same period last year.
These traders, most of whom described the market as boring, says the hike in prices of beans is largely determined by the exchange rate of the CFA as they travel to neighboring Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger to import these products.
The market is boring because in Ghana, the goods that we are selling here is not enough for us. So we used to import most of the goods outside both Nigeria, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Because the CFA, comparing it to previous government, the CFA was 7,000 for 1 million CFA. But now, it is now 25,500 Ghana cedi.
So how are the buyers able to buy? If you look at compare the buying status, how is it these days?
It's not good at all because most of the people, they can't afford it. If you buy a bag of beans, you go and buy a gallon of oil and then the other ingredients. Most of the people, they've stopped selling food because they can't afford the money.
The selling, the buying, we have all problem with it because this is a situation whereby now the CFA is high. And the goods are high too. And if you see those who used to buy food and so, most of them have stopped buying the food because the item is too high for them because they don't get much profit from it. Always it depends on what they buy.
Today, a bag of beans is being sold around 1,800 Ghana cedis. They say the same bag a year ago is far less than the price they are recording this year. And this, the scene here, is a bowl of beans. Today's being sold at 50 Ghana cedis. And this, according to these traders, is largely because of the exchange rate of the CFA, as many of these traders, go over the Ghanaian border to neighboring Burkina Faso, Niger, and Nigeria to import this food commodity.
A bag of beans used to sell at 700 Ghana cedis. Today, even the small bag is 1,800 Ghana cedis. The large size was 900 cedis and it is now 2,200 cedis. So the government has to intervene.
Nigeria beans. First, Nigeria beans.
I sell Nigerian beans. It used to sell at 500 Ghana cedis in the past, but it is now 1,900 cedis. And so that is about 4 times the price. It is worrying. Some of these traders say the hike in the prices of these food commodities is negatively impacting the Techiman Central Market, as buyers are unable to buy as they used to.
The
Techiman market is not as it used to be. Prices of goods changes almost on a weekly basis, and so the amount we used to trade with cannot afford to buy us the same items anymore.
To these traders, all they are calling on authorities to do is to find ways and means of curtailing the rising, cost of the CFA compared to the Ghana cedis. A situation they say, when checked, be able to, help control the price hike of this commodity.
I learned that the previous government, when the CFA goes up, they will get some money and then stabilize it. So that the goods will become normal for us to buy. We wish this government should have also do that for us. They said we
are looking up to the authorities to help stabilize the Ghana cedis in order to keep us in business.
Oh, there's a baby.
Our only wish is how the exchange rate of the CFA will be maintained to help us stay in business.
From the Techiman Beans Market for Joy News, my name is Anas Sabit.
Well, in other news, IMF staff have completed a week's visit to Ghana to carry out half-year economic data review. George Affairs more on some of the issues that came up during the visit, which was concluded just last week.
It was at the request of the board of the IMF to get some updates on Ghana's economic data. This because the second review assessment was about data up to May this year. Therefore, the IMF warned the staff to get an update on the latest data up to July this year. Joy Business understands that the IMF was quite pleased with the progress that Ghana has made when it comes to the overall program. On Bank of Ghana's operations, the fund was kind of pleased with what the Bank of Ghana has done when it comes to the reserve accumulation, as sources say the central bank has mobilized more than what it was supposed to realize under the fund program for this year. On inflation, the fund was also okay on what has been done, as it has been able to slow the rate over the past 1 year, saying inflation is trending downwards in the right direction. However, there were concerns about the high food prices, whilst describing the monetary stance as appropriate. On the fiscal front, the IMF was somewhat pleased with the progress that Ghana has made when it comes to spending and revenue mobilized so far for this year. It was however worried about the payment to independent power producers and its impact on government's finances going forward, so as our international reserves. Some analysts have projected that this review could go a long way to impact positively on Ghana cedis' fortunes going forward. It could also convince the country's development partners that government is committed to stabilizing the economy as well as sticking to conditions under the IMF program.
Now, government has launched the much talked about 8 billion cedi SME Growth and Opportunity Program today. The initiative is aimed at supporting small businesses with the much needed financial help to expand their operations. The fund could be offering up to 300,000 Ghana cedis as initial funding to support beneficiaries. This afternoon, let's exchange ideas on SME funding with Kukwa Adams. She is founder of Clear Group, which supports SMEs and startups to scale up. Also, Emmanuel Ampedu is co-founder of Pure and Just Company Limited, a dried food processing factory. Good afternoon to you both. I want to start with you, Emmanuel. What are your thoughts about this 8 billion cedi SME Growth and Opportunity Program?
Thank you very much, Darrell, and a good afternoon to all your listeners and viewers. I think it's good news. I mean, being an entrepreneur in the SME sector is a very good news, but I really hope it's going to serve its purpose, because there are a lot of SMEs in Ghana that are creating employment, that are giving people a livelihood despite all the economic challenges. So I think if this is executed well, then it's towards the right direction, because then it's going to provide funding for businesses to continue to scale up, or businesses that need to buy machinery, or businesses that even need support to continue to employ people to ease their burden. So if it's going to be done well, then I think it's a step towards the right direction.
Well, Kukwamano says if it's going to be done well, then it's a step towards the right direction. I mean, I've spoken with some SMEs who say, oh, this is yet another program. We've seen so many of them in recent times. What's so different? What's so unique about it? Your thoughts? Can you hear me, Kukwa?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much, Darrell. And good afternoon to all the listeners and then the viewers as well. So yes, as you rightfully said, this is another initiative that has been launched. And in my opinion, and I guess that of the SMEs that we've been working with for a while, where you know the usual, okay, so we see that this has been launched, but we never hear the end of it. I think for us, our expectation this time around is that this will be seen through, as Emmanuel rightfully said, because really and truly, I think that a lot of us are really looking out for some of these opportunities to not only scale our businesses up just in Ghana and create employment, but we're also looking to be able to continue to be as innovative as we want to be. And these, funds actually help us get to that point. So we are really hoping and praying that this initiative is something that we will all see it go through, see the participants, and even hear back from some of these participants that made it through, the entire process, and then also give us feedback. Then we can confirm that, okay, really and truly, this has seen its course.
Yeah, Kukwa, I mean, you deal with many startups and SMEs. They come to you for help as you help them to scale up. And of course, one of the things that you would hear them say is a major challenge is funding. And so why are we not seeing results from programs like these, do you think?
This is a tough one. I mean, why we're not seeing results? To be very honest, from where I stand, I think that it's because there have been series of these, initiatives that have started that we haven't seen through. I mean, I stand to be corrected, but I think Emmanuel will also agree with me when I say that we've heard these things so many times, but we haven't seen how it, it materialized. So I guess we are all in that bubble where we're hopeful, and then we're, just hoping that this is really that initiative that will really work out, because we do need the funding. And unfortunately, we find ourselves in an environment where we are not even motivated to do, all the things that we want to do. And there are a lot of setbacks and barriers. So it makes it very difficult for us to be able to scale up.
Yeah, and Emmanuel, when you engage some SMEs, they're not so happy about this because, I mean, they don't sometimes understand how these funds are targeted, which shows a certain lapse in the system when it comes to distribution of these funds. Is that a concern for you as well, Emmanuel?
Yeah, it is. It is a concern for me. I mean, I have a personal experience when the Ministry of Business Development was set up. And they said they were going to help startups or people with good ideas. We tried applying, and up until today, nothing. So I feel the pain of my colleague entrepreneurs who are running SMEs when they say that this might not be different, because in the past, a lot has been launched, but we haven't really benefited. Personally, I haven't benefited from it, and I don't know anybody who has in my circle. So that is why people will lose faith or lose interest in these kind of things. For me, I think that the most important thing is that government should start consulting other developmental organizations that have rolled out some of these startup funds that are successfully executed it. If I start mentioning names, I will not end now, but there are a lot of these developmental agencies that are providing funding to SMEs, helping them to scale up, helping them to be innovative, and helping them to run their operations even in this difficult time. So I really understand my colleagues that do not feel enthused about this.
Yeah, Kukwa, I want to bring up the issue of data because, I mean, we're talking before the show and you wanted data on something and we realized that it's difficult to come by data. And so what informs distribution of these funds, which sectors that the government targets? I mean, these are issues that we can sort out if we have accurate data, Kukwa.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, Darrell and I were just on a conversation about data because I am looking for data, on the SME businesses in Ghana generally to be able to push, an initiative. And yes, you're right, because even I would like to know how how government arrived at, their criteria in, even selecting, or, fine-tuning the entire program. We want to know the industries that this is for. Is it for all SMEs or this is for a select, group? Because for those of us that are in consulting, I'll be very honest with you, we have faced so many challenges to the extent that even when you went to the banks, they will tell you that your type of business doesn't support any type of loan or funding that you're looking for. So I think for me, I'm more interested in how did we arrive at it? Because I also need the information. I think Emmanuel too does need that information as well. And I also haven't benefited from any of these grants. I have applied a couple of times. I really don't know if they were even still going through the whole criteria, process, but it's been very challenging. And I mean, I think we want to know more, if you ask me. We want to know more. And it will be good for them to also engage some of us who are also in, these businesses to be a part of the, the entire program so that we can also share our hands-on experience, our challenges on the ground, so that we can fine-tune, some of these funding processes.
Yeah, and to be fair, Kukwa, SMEs constitute about 80 to 90% of businesses in the country. Not everybody is going to get some sort of funding. And so when businesses come to you and say, well, we are looking for funding from banks and other institutions, what should they be doing? Because they complain when we ask for such funds, we don't get them.
So, yes, so for me, I've always been for internal structures. And that's, as you know, we are always pushing to restructure businesses restructure internal processes for small businesses. One thing that I always share with our clients generally is that, yes, sometimes you may need funding, but I also believe that if you have the right systems, the right structures, it can push you to become investor ready or grant ready. And this is something I think the businesses that are listening should push for, where you focus on documenting your systems, you focus on, having how your cash flow is coming in, how you're recording. Look, if you don't have the best bookkeeping procedures, there's no way any bank or any institution will give you money because they're not sure how you're going to spend it. They want to know how you spend it. They want to know how they will get their money back. So if we focus on setting the right systems and structures, I also believe that it may not necessarily give us all the money we're looking for, but we'll be a step further than we were before.
Yeah, and Emmanuel, isn't funding just an aspect of it? Because, well, if you get the funds, the state of the economy, you have to pay bills. I visited your factory before. You run a genset for your dried food factory. You're spending thousands on cost of electricity. We are having to deal with inflation, what have you. So funding is just an aspect of the struggles of businesses, isn't it, Emmanuel?
Yeah, so it's just an aspect, and that's why I mentioned that the government can consult other developmental agencies that are doing it. I can give you an example. The Association of Ghanaian Industries, in partnership with GIZ, released funding to support SMEs, and they provide trainings as well. They provide capacity building. It's not just the funding. They help make sure that your processes are well documented, even they are well structured. They help advise you on financing and other things. So I believe that if they consult these people, they will know that it's not just funding that SMEs need. How to even sometimes design your SOPs, how to pay attention to quality in your organization. They even provide some consultancy services on financing, how to make sure your books are okay. All these things are very important. So it's not just providing the financing. Sometimes people need some capacity building for their staff. Sometimes they just need a tour somewhere to go and see a certain machine that they've been meaning to buy. So some of these things are what the government should also be supporting, and not just the funding as well. Then, sorry to say this, but they should also work on the landscape, because the bills are high and high and high. So even if you give me money and every 3 months you're increasing tariffs, or even if you give me money and transportation costs, fuel prices are rising, it will still come back to bite me. Yeah.
All right, Emmanuel, one last question. On exactly a week today, the finance minister will be presenting the mid-year budget review. And so as a business owner, what will be your expectation?
My expectation as a business owner will be specifically being in the agribusiness sector. We need to start looking at our agricultural sector seriously. Every single year, we are declining in terms of food production, specifically mangoes. We are having problems with post-harvest losses. So we need to make sure we are investing in agriculture, because it's still the backbone of the economy and the way to go. So I'd like to see specifically plans that the government are making, like monies that they are allocating to develop the agricultural sector. Also, being in the SME sector that is employing a lot of people, I'd like to specifically hear how much money they are putting in to even cushion the economy a bit. You know, there should be more tax incentives for SMEs. There should be more programs. I mean, if they could even do something to support we, the young entrepreneurs or youth, in terms of our bills, electricity bills, or even transportation or something. I just want to hear things that are actionable to support we, the entrepreneurs, and not just anything like we've seen in the past.
Kukwa, any expectations at your end? You have the last word.
Yeah, so my last words, I think I'm interested in implementation strategies for SMEs. We've heard so many things, we have seen so many things. We just want to know what the next action plan is and how they are going, how they intend on executing. I think that alone will make us, a bit more relieved, knowing that it's no longer a conversation that they are having, but they are implementation strategies that they are looking to roll out. All right, and I'll help you with the data. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we we come across some SME data. Kuko Adams, founder of Clear Group, also Emmanuel Pedu, who is co-founder of Pure and Just Company Limited. Thank you so much, guys, for being on the exchange this afternoon on the marketplace. Well, to other stories now, human resource professionals have been able to leverage opportunities presented by digital technologies to make their operations seamless. Chief Executive of Telecel Ghana, Patricia Obunai, noted that HR technology can improve companies' efficiency, employee satisfaction, and ultimately drive business success. She was speaking at the 12th conferral and 16th graduation of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management.
"55 Level 4 students were conferred a Chartered Human Resource Management Practitioner status, and 133 Level 3 students were also conferred associate members of the institute." Speaking at the 12th conferral and 16th graduation ceremony, Chief Executive Officer of Telecel Ghana, Patricia Obunai, urged the HR practitioners to adapt to new changes within the digital world.
If you choose not to do it, your competitors are doing it. So it's no longer a choice. You need to have that competitive advantage for yourself and for your employees. Coming from a telecom company that's embedding technology in the way we work, I am convinced that adopting and promoting positive use of such technologies is the CEO and the management team's responsibility. And the management team has their best business partner, which is HR. My trusted business partner is my HR director. So it is not the technologies team's responsibility to drive digital change in the organization. It is the HR's responsibility. Having an organization that is digitally aware is a key part of our strategy as we have deployed AI deeply and deeply into our business. And this is why. Your employees, they know the business better than you, and they have to unearth the business challenges and what will transform the organization, what will impact service delivery.
On this part, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Dr. Francis Edukun, said HR practitioners should work closely with employees to create a serene working environment.
Technology helps us to be more efficient. Technology is not coming to take our work, it's rather coming to make us more efficient. It's going to take away most of the administrative issues. So if we automate most of the HR processes, then we can free up time to work on more strategic issues, because we are focusing on how we partner with the business to achieve the strategy, implementing culture and inclusive environment. And that's what we should be focusing on, making sure our profession adds value to the business.
The 12th conferral and 16th graduation ceremony was under the theme Transforming HR Through Emerging Technologies, Leveraging AI and Data Science for Competitive Advantage.
More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Fuel prices increased by 2%. Petrol now at 15 cedis 10 pesos. These are going for 15 cedis 25 pesos. Also, Akufo-Addo praises Paris Club for supporting Ghana's successful IMF bailout. You can read more on myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for watching. We're back same time tomorrow.